Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Conzia Podcast. And today I am joined by two visionary brothers, Bridger and Carson, who are co founders of Hoppn. On this episode of the Conzia Podcast, we are going to discuss how these two visionary brothers are shaping the way we shop online. Bridger Hart is the co founder and CEO, and Carson Hart is the CDO of Hoppn. Their Shopify app, Infinite Color Search, is a game changer that is enabling Shopify store owners to discover, Shopify people who shop on Shopify, they can discover products visually by selecting a color instead of typing keywords. With backgrounds spanning in design, AI, product innovation, Bridger and Carson are blending technology and creativity to make e commerce more intuitive and human. Bridger and Carson, welcome to my podcast. I am very happy to have you here.
Thank you, Zahid. Yeah, it's great to be here. Excited to tell you more.
Yeah, pleasure so.
Our audience would like to understand your journey. When did you guys start? How has been the journey so far? Especially the element that two brothers are building a company.
Mhm.
So walk us through, like through your journey.
Yeah, so we got our start together, and there's also a third co-founder who's our chief technology officer. And so we put together this team, and we have more of the design background. Carson focuses on the brand outreach as well, and we got together and we first started off by building a marketplace. And so we were building a sales channel app for the Shopify App Store, and that would aggregate all these emerging brands into one centralized shopping destination. And in that beginning phase of the company, our main focus was improving the user experience of how you search and discover across all these emerging brands. We want to make it really easy for shoppers to find exactly what they're looking for. And so we got that start focusing on that. And through that we had, I'd say, over 30 direct brand calls with brands we partnered with. And with that, we got to learn a lot about how brands actually operate their Shopify stores. Everyone sets it up very differently. And with that, we then partnered with all these brands through this marketplace. And what happened is we ended up developing this new way to search for products by color. And we realized that this is kind of the most exciting feature that we have across the entire shopping platform. And it ended up being the main point of focus for us when we pitched around our product.
Yeah, so what we decided to do is focus our whole business into this color search. It felt like the right technology to bring to all these websites instead of one to just gatekeep to our own marketplace. And so I would say for our founders' journey, it's never been a straight line by any means, but I think from the all the way like 5 years ago to now, we've always had the same mission, which is to simplify discovery online. And we were very fortunate as founders to kind of build this team very quickly. Bridger and I are siblings. We've grown up together. We've worked creatively. Our CTO, Humberto Morales, he came into the picture very quickly through a series of connections. And, it's just been about iterating on our product. And, we're very excited where we are now with the infinite color search.
Well, this is an amazing journey and an amazing story. So, how do you guys split the responsibilities? You guys, I understand there is a natural benefit, or it gives you a lot of edge when you have this chemistry. You worked a lot together. You are siblings, but how do you guys, split the professional responsibilities and take out the emotional bonding that is normally between the siblings?
Mhm.
I think we all have like the same end goal of creating the best product we can. And so when we're designing things, we're always trying to challenge each other. And sometimes we recognize that we might present an idea, a new feature, and it might not be received well at first, but sometimes you just need to sit with things. And so we never try and let things get emotional in that sense. But it's when it comes to things where we're crossing over like design, that's more collaborative. but then other areas are more delegating. So like Carson focuses on brand relations, and I focus more on communicating directly with our tech team.
Well, that is a very good split.
Mhm.
So going towards the customer mix of your app. So the app is live on Shopify. So what kind of customers do you work with? What kind of companies install your apps on Shopify? Are these big companies, small companies, medium-sized companies?
Yeah, so we have some pretty known brands like Body Glove, for instance. They've been around for over 70 years. Actually invented the surf wetsuit, and so we cover fashion, interior design, art, photography. There's really a lot of applications where color is pretty critical to the buying experience. One of the stats that we came across in our research is that 85% of shoppers consider color to be the primary factor in their buying decision. And so, what we recognize, so I'd love to just touch on the product for a moment so people can understand. What we did is we patented a new method of searching products by color. And so rather than doing things the traditional way, which is how literally every Shopify site and every big site on the planet does this, everyone is using sort of a generic color filtering system. And so they tag products by color name attributes. Um, you essentially have blue products, you have green products, you have yellow products, and it's as broad and generic as that. And so if I select, say, blue, it's going to show me anywhere from this light blue to that denimy blue to like a dark navy blue. And you really get a huge spectrum of things. And it's not helping you narrow down what you're actually looking for a whole lot, especially when sites have hundreds or thousands of products. And so we came up with a better way to go about color. And our method is more of a sort rather than a filter. So we
Mhm.
present this visual color picker. It's like a color wheel, and you can pinpoint any specific color. So let's say it's like a muted blue. You could select that, and it's going to show you the most accurate match across the entire site immediately at the top. And then as you scroll down, it gets progressively um, ventures into other colors. I
Well,
could
that is a great technology. So, and that's a great application of the technology. I must say, specifically AI. So, I would love to understand this because a lot of people who are watching, they have Shopify stores. So, thank you so much for sharing the screen.
yeah. So this you really got to see it and experience it to truly understand. So it's unlike anything that anyone's ever seen before. This is technology that you won't even find on Amazon or any of the big sites. And so our goal as a company is we have big ambitions for this technology. We eventually want to get this on the largest stores on the planet, but we wanted to start with Shopify because the advantage of Shopify is there's so many millions of merchants are using it, and we were able to build this in such a way that brands can install it without doing any coding. They could literally launch it within minutes. And so it makes it very easy for us to partner with a huge variety of brands and actually learn from these brands and see how we can improve the product. And then we'll take it over to the big companies.
You have a very right strategy. Thank you so much for explaining this. So you mentioned you have a patent for this as well, which is great to know. Are there any other apps who are doing something similar on Shopify platform without a patent? Because we often see
Yeah.
um, when we are launching these apps in the Western world, a lot of people coming from countries where there are no patent like requirements or no intellectual property rights, and they copy all these things very quickly.
Mhm.
Would you like to touch on that element as well?
Yeah, so there's a lot more than what's encompassed in the patent. Building something as complex as this isn't very easy, especially when it comes to the multicolor search capabilities that we
Mhm.
created here.
Yeah.
Um, and so there's really a lot of components to this. Building out the full-on surface that we provide is more than just the user experience and the special search algorithm. It's also the automation that we provide. And so we have a full-time data scientist on the team, and we fully automate the color tagging process. And so let me see, I was going to screen share that. So with this, you can actually we can install at the store that say has 1,000 products. And our system's going to go through every single product. It's going to read the product title and description and identify the actual product within the image and then extract those colors directly from the product. So it's going to exclude the model and the background and everything and get an accurate color read that is even more accurate than a human could go through and do. Um, so some of the brands that one of the things we actually really learned from running our own marketplace, working with brands is brands have like a whole lot on their plate. They have a lot of work to do and they don't want to have to add more steps to the product setup process. And so this allows them to essentially buy skip, the old school method of going through every single product and manually tagging it by blue and green and all that. We just fully automate that, so it actually saves the brand's time, and it gives a much more accurate read.
Mhm.
I love the fact that there is a, like a real technology behind this, and that makes it very difficult to replicate. And I completely understand. And well, congratulations on building such a great technology. I would like to understand a little bit more on the marketing side. So Shopify definitely gives you a very good advantage that a lot of people can install your app. You don't need to, like spend a lot of money. You can spend some money on paid ads, CPC. Other than Shopify, how are you marketing this to big brands? And what exactly are the challenges here?
Yeah, so being like the first mover in this space, we do have great SEO within the Shopify App Store. So if you search color or color search, we're going to be on the first page. But other than that, we most of our brands have been through since we're pretty early on, like we just launched months ago. Most of the brands we got were either from referrals or from us directly contacting those brands.
And so I think that a really exciting aspect of this product, even though we are a B2B business and we partner with these brands directly, we're still selling a product that is consumer facing and it's very visual and
Yeah.
it's very shareable. And so it's still early on, like Bridger said, but we know that we've already had brands shout us out on social media and we are in discussion with the brand that's taking it live soon that is going to be incorporating this pretty consistently within their marketing. So they're going to be able to link their emails directly to our overlay within their site. And on every single page, you'll see a little powered by Hoppn as well. And so that'll give people context as to, who's making this technology. Maybe they're a brand and they want to learn more. Uh, as we continue to grow and, when we eventually raise a bigger round, we're going to not only increase our sales team, but also social media, create a much larger presence that way, because we truly believe this has a pretty strong chance at virality. It just needs to take, the right pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So going towards the Shopify once again, so the app is available there. What kind of plans do you offer? Is there any free version as well? People can test out how it looks.
So there's no it's free to install if you want to just check it out, but it doesn't
Mhm.
actually work until you subscribe to the plan. The reason we have to build it that way is we're using an AI system to automate the color tagging. So there's an expense on our end when we have
Yeah.
to process hundreds or thousands of products. So the pricing model is $15 a month, plus $2 for every 1,000 store sessions. And so the advantage of this pricing model is it's fair and flexible to whatever size business we're partnering with, and we priced it in such a way that it's going to provide a return on investment, because it helps increase sales. And so that's how we've rolled it out. And it also allows for unlimited searches. And so a lot of products, a lot of SaaS products will try and charge for every single time there's an API call or every time something's used. We wanted to distance our pricing model from that because we know that this product is addicting for some people, and some people will jump into the color wheel. They search a color, they realize how accurate and exciting that was. And then they start clicking around, and you could have one user who just cranks out 30 searches. And so if we were to charge for every single search, then that could be much more variable in the pricing. But by separating that cost, you get unlimited searches. Brands can talk about it, they could promote it, they could drive as much traffic through that experience as they want, which ultimately helps them get more sales.
And
This is
also,
a very fair pricing, to be honest, and it's not so expensive. So people with just $15 a month, people can test out this great functionality.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and to build something like this, it cost us a whole lot more than that to get to this point. So this is a product that if we were planning to just partner with 100 brands, it would not be economical. It's something that is possible. We could bring it down to the level of all kinds of brands because we're working at a scale. We plan to partner up with thousands of Shopify stores.
And Shopify gives you this opportunity to basically open it up for millions of brands. So
Mhm.
Yeah, so
theoretically.
it makes it really, really easy. And one of the lessons we learned early on is, so we wanted this to be as simple as possible to install. Like we said, there's no coding. They could do this in under 2 minutes. And even though it's possible for brands to kind of like self guide the installation, we recognized pretty early on that it's still good for us to push for a quick Zoom call with our early
Mhm.
clients. And so
Mhm.
nearly every brand we've gotten, we would first set up a 5 to 15 minute Zoom call with them. And the advantage of that is we get to either walk them through the install, or we get to watch them do the install, and that's informative for us because we could see how they interact with the product, and then we can actually improve it. So, for instance, we noticed that there was one brand that was looking at our settings page to find this particular way of adjusting the position of the widget, which actually lives on the embed app page within the theme editor. And they went to our settings page to look for that. And so, like, catching on to that made us realize we need to have a button on that page that links people directly to the embed app settings so they can easily find that. So it's pretty subtle, like how you could pick up on the ways you can improve the experience.
It's
Well,
also, sorry, but just meeting with these brands in person, it's all about relationship building, and it's hard to build a relationship through email. But if we have the chance to even talk with them for 5 minutes, show us who we are and answer any questions right away, long term, it makes it a lot easier going forward with communication.
I love this approach. So, and by the way, you can also ask for a good review if they are satisfied, and that is how you connect with them. And I
And
think
we exchange reviews.
Yeah.
yeah. So, and being early in this, like in this journey, I think it's very important. I'm really glad that you are doing it this way. That's the right way of doing it. So onboarding, checking how what exactly these guys are doing
Yeah.
and what kind of problems they are facing.
I think a lot of developers for the Shopify ecosystem, they might want to pretend that they're a huge company and they have a sales team and everything. But we kind of lean into the strengths of us being small at the moment. And people don't necessarily realize that when they talk to that customer service chatbot, they're actually talking directly to the CEO, and the co-founders. So like we are very involved with every aspect of this, and that really is an advantage when you break it down. The fact that these brands get to partner with the founding team and not just someone who's kind of detached from the original vision. So we really lean into that.
Well, that's a great approach. So I will come back on the company building aspect. So you both are working together. You have another co-founder as well.
Mhm.
What would be your piece of advice for people who are early in this journey, who are still thinking of getting started, starting up a Shopify company, starting in entrepreneurship? Anything you would like to share with them?
I think the biggest, most important lesson is to start simple and stay incredibly focused. Um, if you were to sort of study the original pivot we did from going from a marketplace to a SaaS business, we had a marketplace that had the color search originally. It was always there from the beginning, but we also had 10 other really great features. And those were all exciting, but not quite as cool as the color search. And when you have 10 different things, it's impossible to market 10 different things all at once. You end up having nothing stick. And so it's much better to concentrate all of your resources into doing one thing exceptionally well, which is what we did. And with that, we're no longer spreading ourselves thin. We're now able to build a product that is, significantly ahead of any other type of color filtering system, because we concentrate all the resources into that one focus. So it makes marketing easier. It makes the product better, and I think the focus is important.
Yeah,
That's a
we really like to follow the saying that simplicity scales. And as Bridger touches on, the more complicated your product is, the more you have to explain. And the longer that it takes for someone to understand it, the slower it is to adapt. And when it came to this color wheel, what I love so much about this is you can show it without saying anything and people understand how it works. And adversely, you can explain it without showing it and people are still going to understand the concept. And when it came to our marketplace, it felt like we were kind of like battling uphill where we intrinsically knew it because we had been deep working on it for couple years, and by the time it was actually ready to go, it became this thing where we just had to lean into what people liked, and that was the color search. So I think keeping things simple, learning to build fast and iterate is really important. So understanding who your customer is so important because at the end of the day, you're building for those customers. And so if you're building something that you're assuming they want, but they don't actually want, then you're wasting your time. And, having these conversations with these brands as early as possible, or, whoever your client is, I think that's the most valuable bit of information that you can get early on.
Yeah. You also mentioned you are raising the next round. So, how much money are you guys raising? Would you like to share a little bit more with us
Yeah.
as well? We have some investors in our network. If people want to get in touch with you, how can they contact you? How much money are you guys raising?
Great. Yeah, so we've already secured 750,000 under this round safe agreement. So that's an $8.5 million post money safe. So that's the valuation of our company right now. But yeah, if anyone wants to meet with us, there's ways to contact us through our website.
We will definitely drop the link of website, your LinkedIn profiles from both of you, and your Shopify link as well for our audience. Thank you so much, guys. It has been amazing listening to your journey. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I really like what you are doing. I think it is a game changer for Shopify store owners. It is a real problem that you guys are solving, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Saeed. Appreciate it.
It was great meeting you.
Have a good day.
Bye bye.